Sadaki, the third qualifier from Gibraltar. Playing in his third European Tour event, he's also represented Gibraltar 4 times in the PDC World Cup. Please welcome the Rock Dylan Duo! His opponent comes from England. He's a 2-time television tournament winner, taking the World Trophy and Zuiderduin Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, ranked number 35 in the world, it's the Jemmy Dodger, James Wilson!
Cheer up, Sleepy Jean.
Quite possibly the happiest man on the planet takes to the stage, day one of the Gibraltar Darts Masters. James Wilson, not too happy when we saw him last weekend in Sindelfingen. He was a first-round casualty at the hands of Jan Dekker at the European Darts Grand Prix, but certainly has the capability of bouncing back here. Slightly easier assignments against Gibraltar's Dylan Duo, the third Gibraltarian qualifier to have a crack this weekend. 2 have already fallen by the wayside, including Dyson Parodi. Now it's the turn of the 39-year-old who didn't qualify for this tournament last year. We haven't seen him on this stage since 2015 when he went down to Gerwyn Price at the first hurdle. Chris Murphy, looks a tall order this, I think, for Dylan Duo.
Yeah, certainly does, and James Wilson certainly walked to the stage looking full of confidence and the joys of life, didn't he?
As he always does.
This, of course, coming all the way from West Yorkshire, the biggest game anyone from Huddersfield faces this weekend. Wilson
couldn't resist, could he? 2 days away.
And the one they've got the best chance of winning as well. But we'll park that one there and get on with the darts match between the Jammy Dodger and Dylan Duo. Will we see one of the Gibraltarian qualifiers at least make it through to the second round? Manuel Villero against Darren Johnson later on, and Anthony Lopez against Dimitri Vandenberg. You would say
game on.
It's difficult to know who's got the easiest assignment, really, I think, or the hardest assignment, I mean.
You'd say 1 out of 3 would probably be a very pleasing result for the Gibraltar Darts fans.
It would be a more than welcome return for them.
The flights. Not seen them before.
New flights for Jammy Dodger. So Duo,
26.
Last seen here on the European Tour in Gibraltar in 2015, losing to Gerwyn Price. Also played in 2013, went down 6-0 to Gary Anderson that day.
59.
Tried his luck in Q-School once again this year, but was knocked out in the second round on each of the 4 days of play in Wigan.
43.
Closest he came to advancing beyond round 2 was when he went down 5-4 against Andy the Pieman Smith on day 3.
Yeah, he seems to have been around for some time. 2010 he qualified for the PDC World Championship, was beaten in straight sets by Vincent van der Voort. Has appeared at the 43. World Cup of Darts before as well.
And I think he will again this year. With Dyson Parodi.
Yeah, that's correct. Around half the teams have already announced their
24
partnerships, their duos, if you will, for the World Cup of Darts. Takes place at the beginning of next month in Frankfurt.
89.
I dare anyone to try and pronounce the Thailand team. I mean, I managed one half of it earlier on in comms, but...
Yeah. Good luck to the referees on duty that day.
But yeah, it's a big... Just see if Wilson can...
140!
It's a big tournament in Europe, isn't it? It's the German darts fans love the darts, as we know, on the European
44.
tour. And just something
160.
different, the World Cup, right here. We know exactly how it goes. Best of 11 legs every match, all the way throughout the tournament.
100.
Well, Wilson, as you probably would expect, is handily placed in this first leg on his throw. Duo really hasn't
41.
got going so far. 41 there. You can see the
60.
frustration on his face as he gesticulates his way to the board to retrieve his darts. Top 7 for Wilson for the first.
Going short in the
No
first leg.
bother
James
whatsoever with his First attempt at double. It's a 20 dart holder's
Game
throw.
on.
And Wilson is off the mark. Simon Preston and
43.
Steve Lennon, the two players he accounted for in qualifying for this one. Lennon took him to a deciding leg in the second round, the final round of qualifiers.
Yeah, it was one of the Magic 8 to qualify for
100.
2 European tournaments in one night.
And let's not forget that James Wilson was a quarter-finalist in the European Championship last year. He beat Kim
30.
Huybrechts and Mervyn King in Hasselt. Finished in the 20s in the European Tour Order of Merit. He was a semi-finalist on the European Tour last year as well. He made the last 4 in Riesa,
100.
losing to Mentil Sulovic 6-1 in the semis there.
Yeah, that was around a spell where he was playing really good darts, actually, that part of
46.
2016. Reached his first PDC final as well on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, that was in September. Beat Barney in the quarters that weekend as well. It was part of a terrific late
60.
summer for him. Beat Barney in the quarterfinals, lost to Michael van Gerwen in the final itself, and he made back-to-back semi-final appearances in the Players' Championship at the start of August as well.
81.
So it was a really productive 6 weeks or so for him.
Yeah, certainly can play. He's just outside the top 32 in the order of merit, having only been playing in the PDC
80.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, he signed up after being knocked out of the 2015 BDO World Championship. He made it through on the third of the 4 qualifying days. He grabbed his golden ticket by
60.
beating Nathan Aspinall 5-2.
As you recall,
Down to a finish here on the duo throw of 161.
I remember also Mervyn King, when he lost out to James Wilson in the European
95.
Championship, lavished praise upon Wilson, stood next to him.
And almost gave him
96.
an endorsement, if you like, or
Danger
a
requires 66.
personal blessing, as to say this man could go and do something on the PDC circuit, and he certainly has. Making his debut in Gibraltar this weekend. He's not played here before, so different territory for him.
26. Danger require 145. $66.
Eagle-eyed Chris
Danger
Murphy's just
require
spotted
40.
a minor fault with the outer ring of the board. You can
It's
see there
yours in
the
the second
0
leg.
on the
James
20 has
Wilson.
been dislodged.
And George Noble spotted it as well, you can see, look.
Yeah, he's going to address that now.
Third leg, James to throw first.
Wilson holds.
Game on.
Wilson breaks and leads 2-0. And it's so far a fairly comfortable ride for the West Yorkshireman. 45 years old.
80.
Made his European Tour debut in Hildesheim in February of
140.
2015. That's got the crowd going.
Yeah.
They'll need to do all they can to just keep duo alive and kicking here.
Born and bred in Huddersfield, used to spend a lot of time with Scott Waits, the former Grand
92.
Slam champion, 2-time Lakeside champion as well. But Wilson made the move that Waits wouldn't to the PDC, and he's certainly
100.
making his mark on the circuit. And we did predict at the beginning of this match that it could prove to be a
57.
tough competitor and uphill task for Dylan Duo, and it is proving to be that way. However, in this leg, managed to snatch the darts
Вирусная
and
угроза.
is down to a
100.
finish first.
Yeah, more encouraging for Dylan Duo and the home fans here. Have to see what his finishing is like then.
this would
100.
get the crowd going, wouldn't it?
61.
Oh, could he?
Not this time. But he's in very good
137.
shape to get a leg on the board. He's double 12 away, with Wilson still on 172 and not making many inroads here either.
60. Dylan, you require
So
24.
double 12 the target for Dylan Duo to halve the deficits and get himself in contention, but he didn't really get
Danger
near it.
require
James Wilson.
112.
Would love to just pop in treble, single, double.
No, won't be. So Duo gets
60.
another opportunity.
Dylan, you
3 darts
required
missed
12.
already. Can't afford to slip up again
Eight
here, and
shots
he
in the
takes
third
out
leg.
double
Dylan
6.
And he snaps the dart out of the double 6. Pure aggression from Dylan Duo, trying to
Full flag Dylan to throw first.
get himself
Game
going. There's Daryl Gurney watching on in the crowd. We'll see him in action
140.
tomorrow. He's taking on Darren Webster.
Bit more aggression there from Duo, snatching the darts out of the board again after a 140 that got the crowd going once more.
60.
And Wilson again struggling to find trebles here.
Winner of this one, of course, takes on Kim Hybrechts, who was in the crowd for the last match. Watching on Belgian youngster Mike Decker in his defeat to
125.
Steve Beaton. Number 6 seed Kim is the opposite half of the draw to the number 1 seed Peter Wright.
41.
Well, once more he's got a little advantage here. Well, quite a significant advantage actually if you factor in whatever he scores here, but he's
32.
just undone a bit of that good work from earlier with that visit of 32. More like it from Wilson.
168.
Wonderful switching indeed.
Darryl Gurney looking very relaxed on a Friday evening here in the Victoria Stadium.
Darts and chill.
28.
What great combination. Yeah, we're actually in the Victoria Sports Hall, which is next door to the stadium itself, where
168.
the action is this weekend. And that was brilliant from Wilson.
Yeah, twice he's done that.
Absolutely.
There was a
44.
leg that looked,
Change your requires
Dylan
64.
Duo looked to be miles out in front, but all of a sudden, Wilson's looking at 64 to break back. Could use that. Does use it.
Game
Perfect.
shot and a full flag.
Absolutely
James
perfect.
Wilson.
I mean, he was a long way back there at one
Fifth
stage,
leg,
James Wilson,
James
and
to
then
throw
in the
first.
blink of an eye, it
Game
all
on.
just turned around completely.
Yeah, twice he
And-
switched to the 18s and found the treble with 2 darts.
Well,
Wonderful
he's staying
stuff.
with 20s here, and to
140.
good effect as well. Kicking off with a ton 40.
Of course, we'll see another Yorkshireman later this evening, Darren Johnson,
97.
who's enjoying something of a purple patch himself of late.
Yep. Had a very good time of it just before Hildesheim, didn't he? Beating, what, 5 top 16 players in the world in a matter of weeks?
100.
Yeah, and then went on to beat
Well,
James
including
Wade
James Wade, yeah.
in Hildesheim, and he's taking on another Gibraltarian qualifier in Manuel
61.
Valerio.
Yeah, Christian Kist and Ronnie Hybrechts next for you, though, here. Netherlands against Belgium as Wilson looks at another big visit here.
140.
Yeah, interesting point that. See if Dylan can fill this up. He can. Wonderful stuff.
190.
Yeah, on the Belgian
Change
players.
of
Interesting point that Jack
121.
Newell at RMC pointed out earlier on, that the 4 Belgian players to have 2 cards are all in this event. Treble 17, the target. Can't find it, but shouldn't matter because
57.
the 180 may prove to be in vain. He's not on a finish.
59.
Well, he got the crowd going more than anything, but
Change
he
your
is
requires
still
64.
second favourite here. Wilson lurking on 64. Well, tops then instead for Wilson.
Game shot and the fifth leg.
Absolutely plump.
James Wilson.
Wilson leads, extends his lead to 4-1.
Sixth leg, Dylan to throw first. Game on.
And that's back-to-back 64 checkouts. Different route, same outcome. Clinical stuff from the jammy
60.
dodger, and there is nothing jammy about this.
No, it's very convincing. Even in that leg when he was in a spot of bother, when he turned things around, he just looked to be a bit sluggish at the start, but then just really turned on the style once more, as all good players in whatever their
41.
sports is have a tendency to do. Yeah, Duo's had his moments here, 180s and, well,
81.
One 180 and a couple of 140s along the way, but by and large this has been a very good night's work so far indeed for James Wilson. And there's another example of why it has been a great night's work so far. Absolutely ruthless.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Wilson.
59.
That run that you mentioned to the quarterfinals of the European Championship kind of brought to an end that spell that he had. Looking back-to-back 180s now, look at this. Back-to-back 64 checkout, back-to-back 180s. Dream darts from James Wilson right now.
Nothing stopping him, absolutely nothing stopping him. The average is only 89, which is more surprising given what we've seen over the last couple of legs or so, but he won't really care about that too much. It's all about getting the job done in this first round, but there's been more than enough from James Wilson here tonight as he just threatened double-double there, and that would have been just another feather in his cap.
Well, the confidence to go for it when his opponent's not even on a finish.
And why not? He's got
59.
confidence coursing through his veins right now.
35.
Okay, it's slightly messed things up here. We'll need an extra dart in hand, but even so, he's looking at double 16 again. With duo on 142, might get away with it.
Dylan, you require
well, we will see.
42.
Can Dylan Duo pull a rabbit out of the hat?
No. Is the answer to that particular question, Chris.
Definitive conclusion, Mr. Malarkey.
Yeah,
31.
Just about sums up his night, that really. Had a chance there just to apply some pressure. Okay, Wilson's on 32 and you'd fancy him to take it out now, but...
A shot in the sixth leg,
take out 32.
Yeah, big fan of James Wilson's
throwing
action.
James to throw first. Game on.
Seems to have kind of a reference point on his face, so the dart is released from the same place all the time. That right in the middle of his nose.
140.
Duos is a more unorthodox. Nothing really goes in front of the eyes. The dart's pointing down in his hand and then
44.
Kind of tilts it back up before throwing. By no means a technical expert, but you'd think that there's a lot that can go wrong.
135.
A lot has gone wrong for Dylan Duo in this match.
And it's going wrong now, and it's all making the pathway to victory here much smoother for James Wilson.
93.
Вирусная угроза была обнаружена.
Potentially 3 darts away from that victory.
Duo's average, by the way, less than 70 now.
45. Danger require 133.
Such a stage fright. Certainly being unable to live with this man, James Wilson, who is looking to finish with a fanfare here. Not going to clean it up in 3 darts.
121.
But he's set the shot up. When he returns, one last hurrah.
Why not?
100.
Well, it's an ironic celebration, I think, from Dylan Duo. The damage is already done, but the 180 could well be a nice way to end his evening. On a personal note, Wilson here looking at double 6 for a 13 dart holder throw and a 6-1 win to set up a meeting with Kim Huybrechts in the second round tomorrow. It's been a comfortable ride for him, for James Wilson, and it is a 13 dart hold or throw. It's a 6-1 win. It's a nice embrace between the two to round things off as well. Dylan Duo had his moments, a couple of 180s just to get the crowd going, but he was well beaten in all honesty. 2 more Gibraltar players will try their luck later. Manuel Valerio against Darren Johnson and Anthony Lopez against Dimitri van den Berg, but that was very, very nice indeed for James Wilson. Tougher assignments will come along this weekend, especially with Huybrechts tomorrow, but he is through, and we'll grab a quick word with him right now here on stage. Christian Kist and Ronnie Huybrechts on the way for you next.
Together once more from Gibraltar, Dylan Duo.